We're back.
We are, and glad to be here.
We're very glad to be here, and you are snug and cozy in the Pink Palace.
Yes, yes,
And I'm snug and cozy in the White Palace.
yes, yes.
So, we're coming to you this week with a message that is very timely. And what is our word this week, Dancing Grammie? It's your
It's
favorite word.
my favorite word, love.
Love, of course it's love.
Yes,
Valentine's Day. It's a
yes.
week of love, and you're so good at loving people. You're like one of the best people I know at loving people. You're really good at it, Mama. So we're going to dig into this word today, and we're going to start with the definition, and I'm going to actually pull it up this week.
Okay.
But when we think of love, there's actually a couple different definitions. There's a noun and there's a verb. And the one
Yes,
that we often think about is the noun. And the noun of the word love, the version is an intense feeling of deep affection. So it's a feeling. I feel something. I'm in love.
yes,
Or it's something that you love to do, like we love to write. We get
yes.
great pleasure in it. So that is, and are you exercising now? What are you doing?
I love to move.
She's a mover and shaker. So you love to move, you love to write. And you love to love. You
I
love to
love to
love people,
live too.
and you love to give. So that's the noun of love. It's a feeling. It's an interest. So, but there's this other version that I think is even more important, and it's that love is a verb. It's
Yes,
an action. It's showing deep affection for somebody, or it's liking or enjoying something very much. So it's a verb.
it's
So,
being loved. It's
yes.
being loved. And that's one of my favorite things too.
Mm. Right.
Being
Right.
loved.
That's a feeling of being loved. So we've got a noun, which is a feeling, and a verb version, which is an action. We love, actually, the first time we love to write, that's actually an action.
Yes, yes.
We show people love. And so we're going to talk about this idea of, I think the verb is the one we're going to focus on. And I'm going to start off with something I learned a long time ago. It was actually in our marital counseling. And I'll never forget the question that the therapist asked my former husband. He said, "How do you show Julie you love her?" And so, again, it's getting back to this action. It's not, you can say you love somebody, but how do you show somebody? And you always say, Mama, to put your money where your mouth is.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Words
how do
can
we
be
show people we
cheap,
love them?
but if you really want to do it right, you need more than just words. You need actions.
Right. There needs to be action behind the words. How do we show people we love them?
That's right.
And do you want to start us off, or would you like me to start us off?
Well, you could go ahead and start us off, Julie.
So, one of my favorite examples, and I've used this before, is you show people you love them by showing up.
Yes.
It's your presence.
Yeah.
Showing up is a huge act of love. It's just being there. And one of the best examples in my life was my best friend Beth growing up. And when dad died, she just showed up at the funeral. And she sat there in the back of the room the whole time. And just her presence for me and being there was an act of love. Just
Yes.
knowing she was there. I don't remember anything she said. And really, that's not even important, because in those moments, there's really nothing to say. And
Yes.
so it's a ministry of presence. And I just, when people show up, that is an act of love, because what you're saying is to that person is, you're the most important person to me right now, and I am here for you.
Right.
And so that's one of my best examples. And when I think about the people who have showed up for me, not only Beth, but Mom, you're at the top of the list. showing up for me, being available to people when they really need you. It's often not convenient, but just being present and being available,
Yeah.
for me is one of the best signs of how we can show people love.
Yes.
So, what are you thinking, Mama?
I was thinking along the same lines, Julie. Uh, just being there for the other person, no matter what you say or do, but your presence gives them just the right kind of love they need. And they'll never forget it. I know I have similar feelings about friends of mine, and especially about you. Whenever I needed something or I was, uh, alone, you showed up. And it makes such a difference, Julie. Um, I'm trying to do that more and more, even with my husband, who is not much of a talker. Uh, he is kind of quiet, and I'm talking all the time, but I
Imagine that.
I want to be there. I want
Mm.
him to know that I'm there, even though we're not having these conversations. We're
Mm-hmm.
not verbalizing it, but just being there. And it makes a difference. It not only to the receiver, but to the one who's giving.
Mm.
And it's a it's a happier atmosphere. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I want to say.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that you're not alone. And I think I
Yes,
love what you
yes,
just said, because some people are quiet. We're both talkers. So when we're
yes,
together,
yeah.
we're talking, talking, talking. But
But
some
I don't like
people
to
are
be
very quiet.
alone. I don't
Yep.
like to be alone. I
Right.
like to have noise and talking and activity around me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's from having all those children and always having sound in the house. Uh, I'm not what you call a loner.
No.
I want to be
Well,
with people.
and none of us, that's a good point, Mom. None of us are meant to be alone. God did not intend for us to be alone. That's why Adam, that he made Eve, right? So
That's
it's not good to be alone. Isolation, being alone is not healthy.
yeah.
So just knowing we're not alone, and this presence thing has been really difficult and much more of a challenge with COVID.
Oh yes.
So there's a lot of ways to be present for people, and just to know that it's really letting them know, hey, I'm here for you. It can be
Well,
text messages,
my
an
heart
email, a
goes
phone
out
call.
My heart goes out to those people who live alone during this time of the pandemic. And I try to picture what it would be like to, not be able to say, hey, come see this, or
Right.
let's do this. Uh, it's very different, Julie, and
Mm-hmm.
it can really make a difference in their lives. I applaud those who have been alone and have stayed firm in their resolution to not go out among people and perhaps get sick. Uh, I give them a lot of credit,
Mm-hmm.
really. It
Well, and I
hasn't been
think it's a
easy.
challenge. It's a real challenge for single people. And I
Yeah,
am involved in a singles ministry called Single Minded, and
yes,
just staying connected. Connect is really our big word. We have four words: worship, connect, grow, and serve. And all of those things are ways to connect, because the isolation piece for singles is huge. And there's a lot of brokenness, of course, when you're
yeah.
single, because
And
you're
your
either,
single
you're alone.
people, Julie, are special people.
Hmm.
They've lived alone. It isn't just during the pandemic, but
Right.
they've come to think of each other, even though they're not physically together.
Well, exactly. We lift each
And
other up, and we are physically together now. We do
they
use some groups
care.
and studies.
That's the
Yep.
thing. They
Hmm.
care and they put their money where their mouth is.
Right.
I,
Well,
I
and we
admire
do
them.
and we do show up in different ways for people.
Yes,
So the message is, you're not alone. And it's an extra challenge as a single person, because typically there's some brokenness. There's somebody who's we've got
Yeah.
several people who've lost spouses, so the
Yes.
grief and the loss of losing a loved one.
Yes.
There's divorce, which is also another form of brokenness, the loss of
Yeah.
a happily ever after. So it's a really challenging thing. And so yeah, we love on each other in different ways, in
Yes.
friendship and just being there for each
I
other.
was thinking about when you were going to start the singles group and how I felt God was calling you to do that, Julie. It's been a lot of work, a lot of maybe heartache too, with things that haven't always gone right.
Hmm.
But look at what you have today, a group of really solid Christians who love each other and
Hmm.
who are there for each other.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. Yep. And one of them's arriving today. Elaine's going to be here, so I'm very
Yes,
excited. So,
Elaine.
so yeah,
Oh,
we'll have a nice weekend. But I think this idea of presence can best be exemplified by Jesus.
yes,
So God became man and walked among us. If that's not an act of love, and then sacrificed his life
yes,
on a cross for us. So, I mean, when we think about the best example of showing up, it has to be as a Christian in the
yeah,
person of Jesus.
it
It'd be
is.
much more easy just to stay up there in heaven, but to come down here and to live as we live, not but without sin, and then to die this horrific death on a cross is
Yes,
an act of love. And again, this idea of how are we showing love? And that's the greatest act of love of all.
yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one for us to think about and try in our life to follow a good example,
Right. And
you know, in our
it
own
involves
way.
it involves sacrifice, and
Yeah,
it costs you something. When you show up for other people, it costs you your time that you would be doing something else, maybe for
yeah,
yourself. So when you love people, it's a costly love. When you truly love people and you're there for them,
yeah,
especially in their darkest hours, because it's often not convenient. I mean, things just happen. I've got a lot of people in my life right now that are really suffering, and
yeah,
I'm trying to show up for them in different ways. And it's just, and I can't plan it. You can't plan these things. So, but
yeah.
that's a big part of it, is the sacrifice and
Well,
what you'll do for
we're
love.
just going to keep on going on and doing what we can in our own way.
Mhm.
And we see things every day. And I used to do even more, but it seemed like after the accident, I kind of backed away a little bit. I need to get out there front and center and be doing things for others, Julie.
I think you
And
are front and center, Mama.
I'm
You're front
but
and
I'm
center.
happiest when I'm busy
Right.
with others
Right.
instead of being focused on the big banana I am now since the
The
book
big
came
banana, the big
out and
famous banana.
the
We're going to
queen.
talk about that in a
Yeah,
moment. But before we do, one more thing I wanted to talk about love is love can be very motivating. And so I want to put this we do things when we love somebody that we wouldn't normally do. And I'm
yeah,
not talking romantic love. And I actually, in our newsletter last week, I put my story from a couple years ago. This is from R2 Detour with Love. This is a story I wrote about love and a batch of cookies for my daughter that I sent in a care package, a Valentine's care package. So there you go. So if you didn't have a chance to read it last week, try to catch it this week. But it really taught me a really important lesson about love,
yes,
and that love is a force. It's an empowering force. When
yeah.
we love somebody, we want to do things for them. We're empowered, and so
It's
it's a
like
really
doing
good
it
thing.
for ourselves. That's how special it is.
Yes.
Almost as good as doing it for yourself, you
Absolutely,
know?
and often it's better. Often it's
Yeah,
better, the feeling we get. So
yeah,
we wanted to just talk more about love, and love as a verb and an action. And to end our broadcast, I'm going to show some pictures, because you all have been showing Dancing Grammie some love, because you've been sending pictures in. So we have a little contest going, and we're going to have a special drawing in March on location. We're not going to tell you. It's going to be very exciting. We're going to be together. We're going to have a drawing out of the tin. Is the tin handy, Mama?
It is.
Uh-oh.
It is.
Where's she going? Up, she's going down because that's where she keeps the tin. So there's gonna be a drawing out of the tin. There it is, the tin. And there's gonna be a story coming next week about the tin, a tale of the tin. But what we're doing now is we would love to have pictures. Is there anything in the tin, or is the tin empty? Oh yeah, it's got some stuff.
Kidding?
We've had some times during the book writing where the tin was empty. So what have we got in the tin, Mama? Oh wow. Okay. Well, but there's going to be some more than chocolate.
M&Ms.
Okay.
I've got some Dove.
Of
M&Ms,
course.
Hershey's.
We've got some new additions from Valentine's.
I've got lots of goodies here.
Okay, but there's going to be a special thing in the tin that's beyond chocolate. Well, it may involve chocolate, but it's going to be a special gift for the lucky recipient. So what we need you to do is to send you our pictures. So this one is, I dare you to share a picture. So we've got some coming in. Let's see. The first one we had all the way from Wales.
Oh, look at that.
So we're international now. And so, and then from Bangor, Wales, we have Carolyn with the book.
Yep.
And now we've got some more local. There's Candace in Westfield, Indiana. So we've got a bunch of pictures, and we've got our PR princess Jess posting them. And so please keep sending them. Our goal is to post one a day because they're starting to come in now. So show Dancing Grammie some love with her new book. Take a picture of you with the book, a fun picture or just a regular picture, and send it to dancinggrammilori@gmail.com, or you can send it to me. And we'll enter you in the contest. Yes. So we're going to show some love back because we're giving a gift. Right, Mama? Right. So I think that's all we've got is the hand. Oh, she's got the tin. So I really would like a piece of chocolate now, but I can't really reach the tin. So anyway, you all have a wonderful week. We are signing off. I think we've frozen. Mom's frozen. So we're taking off. You all have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Yes, bye-bye.
We will.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.